Hey everyone, welcome back to Prairie Grown Reviews. We review books, games, movies, and TV shows. Today, we are back for Marvel Studios' latest TV show with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 1, New World Order. So before we get into that, I'm just going to ask you your latest thoughts on the last Marvel show, WandaVision. If you want to see our thoughts on that and the rest of the MCU, we have YouTube videos and a podcast for WandaVision episodes.
That is correct.
That will continue with this.
That is correct.
So Austin, your thoughts on WandaVision?
You're throwing it to me first. Alrighty. I thought it was a really good show on its own. Like we've said, it doesn't kind of fit the vibe of Marvel as a whole, but I thought it was really good for developing both Wanda and Vision, although we don't know where that's going. We got some ideas. You can check that out, the theories video. Lots of good stuff in there. But I enjoyed it. Like, we gave it a 9.0 out of 10. It was a good show. Good standalone show. Nothing like what we watched today, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest with you. I thought it was quality TV.
Yeah. As Austin said, it was pretty solid overall. Like, if you watch WandaVision on its own, without any inkling of it's a Marvel-based show, it's pretty good. Like, the first 3 episodes are really nice, the throwbacks and stuff. Like, it's great.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I guess this show, when it comes to the Marvel itch, really, it fits the more Marvel-ish theme.
Yeah.
But all in all, WandaVision was still great. Like, it was still a solid show. Like, it was more of a character-building show than an action show.
Totally agree.
I mean, of course, no spoilers, but eventually WandaVision does become more of a traditional Marvel show towards the end, and it does have all the Marvel things you expect.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was a good show. It had its cool reveals. It definitely was a mystery. It definitely had that vibe. It did, like they both said, it really expanded the characters of Wanda and Vision, and you know, it set up some things for the future, which I'm excited to see. So yeah, overall, we enjoyed it. Like Austin said, 9.0. So now we're going to hop into our non-spoiler thoughts for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Nathaniel, you first.
Sweet. All in all, good first episode. It was a good action season, good definitely, and it wasn't how it felt like a real Marvel show, I guess, to start things off. It had the vibe, everything was right.
Absolutely.
Pretty great.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. We get some very interesting background information, even for an episode that really is just sort of sets a lot of things up. We still jump right in, right from the beginning. You get some really great action throughout. Not as much as we maybe expected, but it was still really solid all around. We get some decent character development. We learn quite a bit about sort of what's been going on in the last 6 months. As we know, it's 6 months post-Endgame. So I thought that was really good. It's an overall decent episode. It's about 42 minutes runtime, no after-credit scene for anybody wondering, and it's pretty solid. Sets us up for the other 5.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it as well. I thought it, for those of you who like The Winter Soldier and Civil War, if those are your favorite Marvel movies, this fits in right. It's like a sequel to Civil War in terms of tone and style.
Yeah.
It's that spy thriller, espionage type thing. There was some solid action, really some good character moments, even though it's the first episode. It really sets up, and it sets a lot of things in motion. It's less comedic than I expected, but it's still, I'm sure there'll be more comedy as the episodes go forward, as it's been kind of described as a buddy cop type scenario. But it took itself seriously. It let moments breathe in the episode, and it had some really solid action, and it was good overall.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
So any more non-spoiler thoughts from you two?
Let's get into it.
I was gonna mention the buddy cop thing, but
Perfect. I did it.
you cased that.
I chased it.
We're good to go.
So we're going to go into our spoiler section now. So everyone go check out the episode, then hop back here to see our spoiler section now. So, spoilers! I said now like twice in a minute. So
Real quick, I like to say Seb thought the show was going to open with an action scene.
I was
It
right.
did not open
Well,
with an action
it
scene.
opened within 5 minutes of
That doesn't
an
count.
action
You
scene.
said the very
That's
first
fair.
scene was going to be an
That's
action
fair.
It
scene.
takes about 10% of the runtime to get to an action scene, so we're gonna establish that as not opening with an action
Even
scene.
better was we saw clouds, not Seb's action scene.
Well, because
We're
clouds equals plane
Clouds.
equals Falcon.
that was a bit of a stretch considering all you saw were clouds, but
But Falcon doesn't necessarily equal action.
Falcon usually equals action, especially in a show that he's the title character. It's not
we
like
saw
he's
a
in
lot of Falcon without action.
I mean, that's true. We did actually in this episode,
We
but
see
it
that-
still
oh.
basically opens with an action scene. You get a slow opening with Sam putting on a suit and grabbing the shield,
Yep.
and then it fades to credits in a very Winter Soldier Civil War type style credit.
Yep.
with it. It's just the words. It's it's not flashy like the Avengers or Ragnarok or anything. And then you hop right into a cool action scene where Sam, he's working for the Air Force, and yeah, he fights Batroc from the Winter Soldier, who hijacked the boat in that, and he's hijacking a plane here, and he's stealing a guy.
Just a man of
Stealing a guy?
many talents. He's. We're gonna find a much better word for that. We're not gonna call it stealing a guy.
He's kidnapped.
We're gonna call it an abduction
Abduction.
of a military personnel because fashion sucks with words. Future teacher over here, but he's French, so we'll give it to him. But yeah, that was a really, really good opening scene. It sort of sets the tone for what this show is sort of going to be focused around. We had a little bit of a different background from where we thought we were going, but they got some cool technology, cool new upgrades to the suit, cool new upgrades to even sort of the other military tech.
Well, they said it was like Stark level technology.
Yeah.
So
paired with. They said paired with something, but I don't remember what it was.
well, it was paired with. Well,
So
I mean,
Stark
it was
level
originally
Paired with.
a military created technology,
Yeah, so it was
something
just-
along those lines. Because it was originally military, and then of course Tony gave some upgrades. I think that was confirmed that Tony gave Sam some upgrades
He had to have, right?
when
Like,
they were Avengers.
like
Yeah, the way it moves, and also the new suit that Sam's wearing in this.
Yeah.
It's really like the wings look more like wings. Like they're still metal, but they look more feathery in a sense.
They're like flat now. Like they used to.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
used to be jagged at the edges. Right now, it's sort of a pristine shape. Those have got technology coming out the wazoo for necessary, maybe a little bit over the top.
over the top, but I mean,
I mean, it's a Stark.
they're
Super
Avengers.
cool.
They're
Super
Avengers.
cool.
They
I
get
really
all
like
this
it.
stuff.
The Red Wing's pretty.
Red
sick.
Wing's pretty sick.
Let's talk about that. That's all you.
I like. Oh man, we talked about this during the episode we're watching, but
Absolutely.
like the laser he used to enter the plane. I don't know how no one heard or felt or saw that happen.
That is
But
that is the downside of watching these episodes with two engineers in training. You get a lot of Sebastian, a lot of analysis of whether things are real or not.
Yes,
We're bad for that.
I mean,
I mean, if something
engineers have yet to come up with anything equaling Stark technology, so hopefully eventually. Right, boys? Right, boys? Arc reactor,
it'd be cool.
Tony suit.
It'd be
Environmental over here, totally not in my range. That's all you.
Cool.
Just
I had some more of my stuff, but like, I mean, it's cool, but like,
eventually, in our lifetime.
I mean, the technology was probably there somewhere. Someone's probably working on it somewhere.
There's definitely someone working on
There's
it.
someone working on it. So
I mean, I've seen prototype Iron Man suits that are like powered with like you got like jets on their arms, and they're like just.
Oh boy.
It's not sleek. It's not cool. It's bulky.
Anyway,
Yes, okay, back on track.
Back on track.
Falling off the rails.
I don't know. Red Wing holds a lot of like weaponry for a small thing, right? Like he had missiles on him when he was doing that helicopter fight
Yeah.
scene. He had a built-in laser.
Yep.
What else? I think has Red Wing done more stuff in like past movies?
Oh,
Like,
he blew up a tank in Civil War,
We saw a little bit, but not.
and he
nearly,
shot someone in Civil War. He has like bullets.
Yeah, not nearly to that. Like that was some. There was some new stuff.
There was some new
Sure.
stuff.
Well, that was pretty good.
Also,
Pretty
this was
Totally.
probably the best Falcon action we've seen, like standalone,
cool.
all time for
didn't
sure.
have really a main scene in the other movies, right?
No, like he always
the
like
biggest
so
fight he had
supporting
was when he
Cap.
fought Ant-Man, and
Yes.
that wasn't really a fight anyway.
and he lost. But well, he had a pretty decent one in Civil War, like in the opening.
Yeah.
And he does his part in the airport battle, but
That's fair.
no, but here he really shines. He also stabbed a beast in Endgame with like his wings. I remember that scene specifically because it was like
Yeah.
pretty vicious
Yeah.
in Falcon. But
And then we get straight into the Winter Soldier side of things, like almost directly after we sort of hop into his.
actually, directly after we get the Steve memorial scene before we
That
get.
too.
That's not important. Let's move
That
on.
means nothing.
That means nothing. It's not
All we
like
know is it sets up the shield being in a
For the 100th
museum.
time, the theory's got a little bit too out of hand on this one. There's a lot of people talking about it being a funeral.
it's
I
not.
don't
it's
think that's
not,
what it
no.
was.
No, there's no confirmation Steve's dead.
Nope.
So we don't know. He could be living out in some old folks' home, and no one would recognize
No,
him.
he'd live in an old folks'
No,
home.
he probably.
You gotta put Steve in an old folks.
No, he's probably actually like living in a normal. He's probably still spry.
isolated somewhere.
Yeah, he's probably still spry for an old man though,
Probably.
because he's like, even though we did ask the question though, like, how did he age?
That's a good question.
Like-
I don't have the answer to that.
Like, because like he
Yeah.
spent enough time when he was on ice. That makes sense, and then he spent 11 years here, so he wouldn't have aged too much. But then he goes back. Maybe the 80 years he spent without being on ice aged him. Maybe if he spent 80 years in the modern times, he would have aged too.
See, but
Slowly.
the question that you have to ask with that though that confuses me: how similar is the super serum that Bucky got?
Similar enough, but not the same because
Yeah.
Hydra didn't have the guys who originally
Pretty
created
much.
it.
Well, yeah, he's very dead. There's pretty much as close of a reproduction as
The best reproduction we've seen.
Bucky was never. Correct me if I'm wrong at any point here, but Bucky was never on ice.
Yes, he was.
Was he?
Yeah, they kept putting him on ice over those 90
Oh,
years.
you're right.
They freeze him,
You're
bring him
right.
back, freeze
Yeah,
him, put him back.
Yeah.
So,
then maybe
maybe
there's
it's
no
just because
anti-age in the serum.
no, maybe it's just maybe it's slower rate.
The serum is like it enhances your physical like properties, right? So maybe putting him on ice is like like keeping
You
frozen
in that.
type of thing.
Well, there's always been
Condition.
theories about the whole
Can you ice
freezing
someone?
people
Yeah.
and bring them back later on.
I mean,
Like-
they have super serum. That's probably why it works, right?
It's the easy explanation. But anyways, so we get a memorial for Steve/Captain America.
Yeah.
And Falcon's really presenting it, and he gives up the shield to the Smithsonian.
Which means that it's gonna get stolen.
Well,
And-
it's
which we
well,
see
is it
again-
stolen when the government's like, we're choosing to give it to someone else, not you,
I mean,
Sam?
it was donated to the museum for the museum.
Yeah, I know.
And then they
That-
just kind of yoinked it out.
They
of there.
yoinked it, but they're the U.S. government. They can do what they want. But we also get a good cameo from Rhodey.
Yep.
For
Mhm.
all you Rhodey and Iron Man fans, and they have a good talk about. He's like, "Why didn't you take up the mantle?"
Yep.
Sam just was like, "It's not mine. It's Steve's."
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I know the show's supposed to explore whether or not he will, and there's scenes in the trailer where he's holding the
He
shield,
at least has the shield.
so he at least gets it at some point.
Like,
So
if
we'll
this is an espionage show, then
There's going to be a lot of thievery.
He's gonna steal it. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Almost
without a
like-
doubt. Like you saw him at the end of the episode, he's like about to like cry at that point. Like he's gonna
Oh,
like
He's
hurt
just-
because they
someone.
disrespected him.
Definitely disrespected him.
They're like, and I mean, it could be a lot of things. But most likely because they couldn't control him.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't control Steve.
See, but if what
But he's
They
working
were-
with the Air Force right
they
now.
were never gonna offer it to him again though. He just gave it up.
That's true.
So like, let's say they want to.
But if he had taken it up, they couldn't have said, or well, they could have, but they like,
They're already running him
yeah, that's true. 'cause
with
he's
the
with the Air
What's
Force.
the difference,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think, but I don't know.
I think he just
They probably owe him the benefit of the doubt. To at least tell him in advance that there's
somebody.
there.
Yeah. Well,
Instead of leaving it in the Smithsonian. But you think, but I mean, if it's General Ross, he doesn't like heroes.
Oh no, General Ross is an idiot.
Yeah, and
That's
he
simple.
doesn't
I mean,
like.
we've already established the
Since
military
Hulk,
movie
he doesn't
stuff,
like.
No.
Since Hulk, he's never liked. Since
Exactly.
Incredible Hulk, he's never liked heroes.
Exactly.
But and I think he's confirmed for the show. At least his presence is. I know he's in Black Widow,
Yeah.
and this is connected to Black Widow, kind of maybe. I don't know. That's a prequel. Who knows? That's 2
Anyways,
months away.
well, let's talk about Bucky. We haven't
Bucky,
talked about him
yes.
at all yet.
In the Winter Soldier part of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, let's move on to him.
Exactly.
So we get a cool flashback action scene when he was the Winter Soldier,
Yep.
mindless slave killing
Hail
machine,
Hydra.
Hail Hydra, where he just wrecks some Russian-looking dudes,
Yeah.
or I don't
I
know.
think they were Russian.
Maybe they were in the States. I don't know. Based on what we find out later with the old man.
We know for a fact that they were not in the States, and we know for
Oh,
a
did
fact
we know
that
they
they
were
were
back in
Russian.
Yeah.
They spoke Russian.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
I only know that because of subtitles. Thank God for subtitles. And then 2, I mean, this goes a little bit further into when we find out who the random dude he kills at the end is. But the old guy said his son was abroad
Abroad, yeah.
on a work term.
Yes.
He can't be abroad from the States.
What
Yeah.
work
In the
ter-
States.
Where is he going though?
Like a
Like what is
museum type
that
of
thing?
thing.
Oh, was it a museum? I couldn't tell
Oh,
what the
yeah.
building was. That all these Russian dudes were just
It looked
guarding it.
very like embassy-like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what it
that's
did
what
look like. So maybe he was like a political major or something.
Yeah, I feel
But-
bad for the guy.
Yeah, I feel
He-
bad. Young man.
But like he couldn't
Get
put
shot.
he couldn't put the key
He
in
couldn't put
door.
the key in the door.
I mean, in that situation, your whole body just kind of shuts down.
Yeah, well,
honestly,
you freeze, you're scared,
Yeah.
and if you're not trained
I
for
mean,
that, or
when
you're
the Winter
don't
Soldier
have
is
the right
staring you down after
disposition.
like stabbing a guy in the throat.
It's game over.
Yeah.
It's game over.
And he's got that mask, and the eyes are just and he's got the metal arm.
I think the metal arm's enough to call it game over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's pretty freaky, yeah.
Yeah.
So we find out this is actually a dream of Bucky's, and he's having some serious PTSD to his days back in Hydra.
That whole what was it called? That whole therapy scene reminded me a lot of like Lucifer for some reason. I don't know
Yes.
why. I just couldn't get out of my brain. I was like, man,
Totally.
it felt
I
like
get
that.
to see that show,
Totally.
but I've seen a few episodes, so I kind of.
Smasham's classical literature is lacking, but yes,
Anyways,
that's
classical
totally
literature.
the
That's
vibe.
my first thought. I was like, man, this.
Yes.
And then all the passive aggressive whips. Between
Yes.
that was great.
Passive aggressive, like when you're
Why are
doing
you
the
writing? Why are you writing?
the notebook
It's
thing.
very passive aggressive. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was hilarious scene. Sort of brought that little vibe back into it, which I thought was great.
And we find out Bucky's been given a pardon. He's a free civilian who's making amends by turning in former Hydra people. And he does it in the most polite way, too. Like, he's...
Yeah, hijacking a car and scaring the crap.
Well,
out of
he's
them.
scared, but then he's like, I'm not the Winter Soldier anymore. I'm just a civilian.
And then he smiles.
And then he smiles, and then he beats a dude.
He
When
knocked the
he...
guy out first. And then
But did he
said that.
even use his metal arm for that? Or did he
That was
just-
his left arm.
So, no, he's a...
And the guy pulled
Left
out a
arm
gun.
is his
Exactly.
metal arm, yeah. So, yeah, he
The
just...
guy pulled out a
The
gun.
guy
That's
did
also
pull out a
fair.
gun.
We'll give him that.
And this woman was former Hydra, so like she could be dangerous too. But she's a politician, so
Anyways.
let's move on. So he's making amends. He's got a list. He's crossing off names of things he's making amends and people he's making amends with, and
Just people.
just people,
Not things.
but like jobs to do. Like he's like like
People he's
people
trying to make
he's
amends for.
make amends with.
Oh boy. Anyways.
Overconfidence
we're
is a
gonna-
very
okay.
simple
Gonna
topic.
move on.
So then we go back to Sam, and we meet his family, his sister.
His nephews.
Yeah, they're cool.
They made a very big mistake when they
His
wanted to
sister-
play some video games. Anyways.
Yeah, his nephew seems cool. His sister seems a little
Intense.
a little looking for something to someone
I
blame.
think, yeah, she just wants to like throw anger onto something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
because-
dealing with her pain in a weird way.
Yeah, we get a very interesting character arc from her because their family business is going under, right?
Mhm.
That's very fair. But then we see Sam take some probably
Initiative.
unwanted abuse for
Oh, yeah,
getting
that's
snapped
true.
out of existence for 5 years, which
Yes,
is
that's true.
nothing he had control over. Obviously, everyone's got something they want to be mad for, but that just sort of that shows you a very
Half the
interesting.
universe was snapped.
Well,
Is everyone
exactly.
blaming their significant
Exactly.
other, their sibling, their parents for disappearing?
Right.
How
So,
could you disappear? You said no.
You said like just say no.
Yeah, that was a very interesting scene, but it tells us a lot about her character. So I thought it was a really important
I mean, I think
piece.
she's at a breaking point. That's probably why.
Yeah,
like, it's been
it's
5 years of this,
it's
right?
very
Yeah,
important
and
piece to
they're
throw in
going
there.
broke. They're losing their family business. Maybe their family home.
Stress does a lot of funny things to people, so we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't think it's the last we see of her.
Oh, I think next episode
She's gonna
it's
be
probably
a-
going to pick up pretty soon after that
Yeah.
press conference we'll talk about later,
Exactly.
which was our biggest
Point and
biggest
the
points in the episode.
Let's talk about Bucky's date.
Bucky's
Yeah.
date.
Battleship? Man, that
Battleship. How old are you? 106. She definitely didn't believe him on that.
Nope.
I mean, his picture. You know, in Far From Home, when they're like showing a memorial,
Yeah.
and then they have a picture of all the Avengers, and Winter Soldier's up there,
Yep.
so he's at least well. But I mean, he cut his hair. Maybe that's enough to do it for some people.
I mean,
And he's not
gloves
showing the
and
metal
stuff,
arm.
like,
He's got no metal arm, right? That's the giveaway.
That is the giveaway, and it's blue now, so it's more transparent. Well, like bright silver is a little more
Metal arm.
metal
right?
arm. But I still think instead of
Potato,
I have
potato.
bad circulation or whatever he said, he could have just said I got a prosthetic.
No, that would give it away a bit more, honestly.
There's a huge difference between a
prosthetic
prosthetic
and a.
and a weaponized metal arm.
Oh my god.
I've heard there's some secrets with that arm too, like some cool stuff you can do that he hasn't figured
It's
out yet.
from Wakanda.
Exactly.
What do you expect?
It's made
So-
of vibranium. It can do like anything.
Well, his
Oh,
previous
so
one was made by.
I know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
They
no.
went to Wakanda. For
But like I
it,
heard
so
it
you
might
could
like
do,
have like a weapon or something.
Well,
Like,
you
maybe
saw
he
the
can like.
dude's hand from Black Panther.
Yeah, no, it could be like
Fired
something like
a
that.
missile.
Exactly.
But no, yeah, no. So Bucky has his date. I mean, maybe we'll see her again, but then she's
I
like,
would assume so.
but then she keeps bringing up how like his old friend, his old man friend,
Izzy. I think his name is Izzy.
No,
right?
the Izzy was the restaurant they went to.
Yeah,
sorry,
Izzy's
Izzy's the restaurant.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Started with an O. I can't remember.
The other guy's name was Unique or something.
Unique, yes.
It's like Monique, but with a U.
You,
because I'm
yeah.
Unique.
That was a terrible
Oh man.
play on the words, but it is what it is. We'll give it to him
But-
because he's trying to throw his trash out.
Yes.
Anyways.
But so the old man, his son was the one that Bucky murdered in the flashback, which little sad. So Bucky goes and he kind of, it looked like he knew, but I mean, he confirms for the audience at least that yes.
Yeah, he almost guaranteed knew because he's got his name in his book. And
Well,
it's circled. So he
So
knows.
he must have been hanging out with him trying to
knows
make
the
his amends.
relation there, yeah.
Yes.
But we didn't know for sure until that point.
And so we get the confirmation, and then Bucky pays him. I don't know if he'll see him again. I might think his guilt, because
But
Bucky's
he
guilt.
didn't cross him off.
No,
That's
he
true. I mean, and then he's like one of the few people who's his age.
Yeah, that too.
Like, I mean,
It's like one of the
who
people
would
he's
you
actually
want?
friends with, right?
Yeah,
That's
like,
the whole
who
thing
would
about
you-
him having friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the therapist, she's like, you're ignoring Sam's text. You have less than 10 people in your phone.
You've called me.
You call
It's
only
so
me,
sad.
and he's got a flip phone.
Wow.
Because like,
I
well, that's
mean,
what I
he's
think.
106.
6. We'll give him the.
Steve didn't have a flip phone though.
But Steve was a regular like
For
person
10
like,
years.
10 years, yeah.
That's true.
Bucky
He had a
was,
flip phone
like,
when he
a
first
year-
showed up, but then I think he switched it because Civil War. He pulled out that phone because
Yeah.
I just watched Civil War like when I was sick like a week ago.
Anyways,
But
Good stuff.
no, he pulls out the phone and it's not a flip phone.
No.
So
Nope, you're right.
eventually, yeah. What else? Oh, do we want to move on to the big reveal then? Because I mean,
I can't think of anything else.
Sam and his sister are broke. We kind of mentioned that, and
Yep.
this banker's really cool, hyped that he's an Avenger, but he's still not willing to help him. So
Pretty much.
I think that's the whole, like Sam's whole plan was like
yeah, use his status. Like
Yeah.
he's like, what?
Oh,
what
yeah,
do
totally.
You think? Yeah, well, cause you think that they did like they saved the world, but I mean,
Well,
there's an equal bank.
He also
Nah.
brought up a good point how the heroes got paid, right? Like
Yeah, how do we like
from goodwill.
goodwill? Like I mean,
Yeah.
we've always figured that Tony Stark just kind of funded them,
I mean, most
likely
I would assume so.
Wakanda will fund the future Avenger teams that come up,
Yeah.
and
I would assume so.
if especially if Shuri, sadly because Chadwick Boseman is dead and T'Challa's no longer going to continue as a character, but if Shuri takes up the mantle, becomes Black Panther, and joins the Avengers,
We could
most
say-
likely she'll be their tech person / she'll
Yeah.
and if I'm sure Sam will be on the team, Wanda, Scott, will have Bucky, a lot of people, but I don't know the roster yet. But I definitely think that Wakanda will fund it. But so moving on to the big final reveal, we see Flag Smashers. We didn't even mention them, and can't remember his name. Torres.
Yep.
So we find out there's this new criminal organization
Sure.
called the Flag Smashers, who
They have a
believe
great
the
name.
world
They have
was
that perfect name. Just saying.
the world was better before during this blip, before the blip, like when everyone has
after the
disappeared after the snap, before
Yeah.
the blip.
Yes.
So they think that the world should have no borders and no flags, and be all united under one.
Sing Kumbaya, pretty much.
Yes, but they do it by being very violent and stealing things.
I mean,
It's one way to unite.
It's
the world.
one way to unite the world, and they wear these masks that look like kind of like I don't know, old school goalie
I
masks.
think we're gonna figure out the meaning behind.
the hand in
the
their
hand on their yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good idea, good on paper. Will probably never work in real life.
No, it won't. And so this Torres, he works for the U.S.
No way.
military. He tried to track them online, and then he goes to
He got
one of
beat to
their,
a pulp.
and then he gets beat, which suggests that at least the leader of the Flag Smashers seems
Definitely.
to have super strength of some sort,
He has an
enhanced.
enhancement. He has an
Enhancement
enhancement.
of some sort.
Some sort. Yeah.
He
Jumped
handled
from
a large
two-story
jump,
building, like,
yeah,
pretty
and like
easily, right? Like,
he didn't, his knees didn't buckle, he didn't break his legs.
No.
like
he's-
Sparta kicked the guy into a wall.
Yeah, into a pole.
What was that?
Yeah, it was a pole before.
That's worse.
And like the pole, I think even bent, or did it?
Nope,
no,
didn't
no.
move.
That would be. I
That'd
mean,
be tough.
yeah, that'd be tough.
That guy would be dead. for
So,
sure.
and then Sam's talking to Torres about this, and then Sam's sister runs in the room and turns on the news, and we see that the U.S. government has decided that they are going to give the shield, which is technically their property, but also technically Steve Rogers' property, and if he's not dead,
Well,
Or
let's not get into the
that's not-
specifics of this.
yeah,
That's a
because I
discussion for
don't,
another day.
but anyways, the U.S. government decides that it doesn't need to be in the Smithsonian. We're going to give it to the new Captain America, and they roll him out in this process.
It's kind of dumb.
His suit is not as cool as original Cap's. It looks it looks like a Halloween costume of Cap's original costume.
That it does.
It looks like a rip-off, a knockoff. Like if you
I
go,
mean, he is a knockoff technically.
well, he is, but
Technically.
it's like if you go to, if they had like meet Captain America,
Yeah.
and like on the
It's
side
like
of the
Santa's
street.
in the mall.
Yeah, it is. It's like Santa's in the mall.
It's the same concept.
It's the same concept.
Absolutely.
Santa's real, kids.
Anyways.
Anyways,
Yeah.
So they're giving the shield to this guy, and Sam looks pretty upset about it because he wanted to honor Steve's legacy by putting it in the museum.
Yeah.
And it wasn't supposed to go to anyone else because no one could replace Steve, or at least that was Sam's
That's the
thinking.
point, yeah.
But Uncle Sam's thinking was something different.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
so that's how we end the episode. Overall thoughts, just spoiler thoughts. I really thought it was great. That Sam action scene,
Yeah.
Bucky. I can't wait to see how their stories intertwine.
Yep.
Because they don't meet in this episode, which for a show called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're a little surprised about. Like Wanda and Vision are together from the first scene.
I mean, like...
Wanda made Vision!
Well, spoilers!
Shh! No need to scream.
That's fair.
And you definitely see
We're in the
shit
spoiler section as well, so.
Exactly. We're also after WandaVision. So
Yeah, but I mean, if you haven't
get
seen
on
it yet, I mean, they're still trying to keep it a little hush hush because it's only 2 weeks since the last episode. Go watch it.
Too bad.
Go watch it. It's a good show.
Yeah, I thought this was really good. Part of me almost appreciates that they don't meet yet.
Yeah,
I
no,
was-
I
It
like
only makes sense, or like the way they had it set up. It
You
doesn't
gotta
make-
develop.
My
characters.
only thing is that there's most likely announced 5 episodes left, so like.
That's funny.
But I mean, it's like this one is really more than WandaVision formatted like a movie.
Yep.
Like it's like a movie broken up into
5 parts. 6 parts.
instead of WandaVision wasn't episodic in the way the Mandalorian is, but the first 3 were
Yeah.
episodes, and then they moved on to a more overarching
Little
story.
less of a flow, yeah.
But this definitely feels like it's part 1 of Act 1 of a larger story, and I'm excited to see how they continue with it.
Totally.
And next episode I'm pretty hyped about next Friday.
Yep.
So if you like what you see here, go watch our YouTube videos. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button to help us with the algorithm, and click that bell to get notifications about our future videos.
Absolutely.
And if you like what you all see here and you like movies and books and games, go check out our www.prairiegroundreviews.com website where we review those things.
Absolutely.
So from everyone here at the Prairie Grown Reviews team, see you guys next time.